Once a month, Anissa and I slow down, sink into this couch, and open the kind of conversations we rarely get to have in the chaos of running a business. These are our real behind the scenes, what's working, what's hard, what we're learning, and how we're growing as founders, creatives, and leaders. We share them with you in hopes that something here sparks clarity, courage, or even just comfort in your own journey. Let's get into today's conversation. We're back. Cheers. Did you miss me last month?
Oh yeah, that's right. We had that conversation with Jenny.
You had Jenny over. You guys had such a nice topic and conversation.
It was a big one.
Lots of good information came from it.
It was good for me.
Yeah, same. And we're actually implementing a couple of things
Yes.
she suggested during that call.
Yes.
So for anybody who's interested, we'll be linking it somewhere.
If you missed it.
If you missed it and you want to rewatch, it was a very good conversation. But here we are today. You know, as business owners, I think one of the main thing we have to do is attend events, especially networking events.
The joys.
The joys. And for some people, it comes really natural.
Yeah,
you know, like some people are just like outgoing people, extroverted. You go there and you can have the best time.
Best time.
But for some people, it's a little bit more challenging. And I would say we fall slightly more towards a little bit more work is required for us.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't always like this.
Yeah.
I feel like when I was younger,
it
was so easy. I didn't even have to think about it. It was just like really natural. Just being an older, a mature woman with hormonal changes and, you know, brain activities that have changed. There's just different expectations at these events, and I think I behave a little bit differently.
Absolutely, 100%. As we get older, like the hormonal change is number one for sure. But I also think COVID really messed up with the way we engage or navigate or just like interact in the world.
Yes.
That we have such limited time that you spend time with another person face to face and everything is just emails, digital calls. So I feel like we've kind of forgotten how to act in real life also.
Yeah, how to interact in person. Yes, you're absolutely right. COVID just, I think, brought like a lot of anxieties from social interactions. And so I see it in other people too now when we are at events, just conversations just seem a little off. Like people just seem like, I don't know, disengaged or just like the attention span. And so, it just makes it difficult for everyone. But these events and networking events are still really important.
Absolutely.
You know, we need to attend, we need to connect in person. You know, I still believe that making eye contact and having in-person conversations is so much more powerful than being behind a screen, and you can just get a lot further with your conversations and the impact is further. So they're important and to help us grow our business as well. So we've been attending a lot of events and they've been good. We've noticed some challenges, and so we thought maybe this would be a good time to not only share what's been challenging for us, but also what we find that we are now trying and what's working and what's been helpful. What's not working, maybe.
There's a little bit of tips and tricks. You learn as you go. You're like, oh, we should do that. Oh, I noticed that. So this is that conversation.
Yes, let's do it.
How do you usually feel when you first walk into a networking event?
I think I have just like the anticipation is always there because you've gotten ready beforehand, you know, just getting out the door and making sure you have everything with you and blah, 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 like whatever. Am I going to be hot? Am I going to be cold? I always think of like what I'm going to wear and, you know, so all those things like getting ready and getting out of the door. And then so getting there, it's like, okay, it's a bit of a relief. Like, okay, I made it. Like, just relieved, like I made it on time, hopefully, and I just need to go find a spot to sit and park and whatever. So there was a little bit of a relief, like, okay, it's done. Like, I'm here now. I can't, there's no going back. Like, we're here. Let's do this. Let's get this going. I got things to do. I want to get this going now.
Yeah, I agree. We're always early. I feel like every
Yeah.
time we try and we're like, okay, we don't need to be the first people at an event, but we just tend to always early. And
Yeah.
it's a benefit. I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of times when you get there on time or early, then you're not starting it with stress. You can
Yeah.
start at like, you're the first person. You figure out that if you want to spend 5
Or you're
minutes
early,
in the car.
and you can also maybe engage with some of the other early birds.
Yeah.
So there are benefits to being early, because then you can find your parking early, you can find your registration, do all those things without feeling rushed and anxious.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that
so
is really helpful. I think
doesn't
to be
hurt.
there.
Yeah.
Oh no, absolutely. I think it's a key element because we are rushing at beforehand.
Yeah.
So when you get there a little bit early, I think it's like it helps you set the tone for the day.
Could be good.
Mm-hmm. So you feel a little bit excited at first when you get there.
Definitely. I'm excited to get it going.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, same. I feel like it's always, I have a difficulty distinguishing the difference between anxiety and excitement, but I've been paying attention to it more, and it is that feeling of I need to go see who's there, I need to go see what's happening. So it is a nicer way of thinking about it. It's like I'm not anxious, I'm excited.
Just excited, yes.
Yeah. What usually helps you prepare before you go to an event?
Okay, yeah, so I think a lot of the success that comes from attending, depending on what your goals and stuff are, is how you prepare for it beforehand. So you can prepare for it mentally and then also like physically. So let's talk about physically first. So how I prepare, again, it's just knowing where it's going to be. Is it going to be outdoors? Is it going to be indoors? What do I need to wear? Am I going to be cold? Am I going to be hot? Like, do I need to wear flat shoes? Can I wear heels? Like, a lot of those things, like, really will help you while you're at the event. Yeah. Focus on your conversations and what you want to talk about rather than being stuck on, like, oh my God, I'm freezing right now. My feet hurt. I didn't bring a hair tie. I don't know, whatever it is. Like, I just want to prepare, make sure that I'm going to be comfortable there. So yeah, and that just, I think, does come a little bit with experience. Like, you go enough time, like, I've gone to enough events that, like, I've been frozen the whole time because the AC is always blasting at these things, which is fine. Some people need the fresh air. You don't want to be stuffed in a room with, like, a bunch of people and, like, sweating either. So I get it. But so I always layer, so I'll have maybe purposely wear a blazer, because then I know that I'll be warm. The other thing is shoes, making sure that I'm wearing the right shoes and I'm going to be comfortable. Because, typically events, maybe it's an all day thing if you're at an expo or something, or maybe it's just a few hours. But regardless, you just want to be comfortable. That's physically. Mm-hmm. I also want to always prep for food and things. I don't know what's going to be there, so grabbing water and making sure you have some snacks. So I always pack a granola bar or something in my purse or in my handbag just to make sure that.
That's huge.
Yeah, because you don't know. Maybe they're offering snacks, great, but maybe by the time you get there, there's nothing there, or maybe you don't like it or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, hopefully there's coffee and there's drinks there, great. But having a bottle of water, if it's a small one that I can pack in my bag, then I'm good. I don't need to carry it with me either. Because that's the other thing. You don't want to be carrying too many things in your hands. You still want to be able to shake hands and grab someone's business card and maybe write a little note. You want to still be able to have functioning hands.
That's such an important one.
Oh my God. Taking pictures.
Exactly. Yeah. You have your phone in one hand, and God forbid if you have a beverage in the other, that leaves
Can't do much.
Nothing else.
Can't do much else.
So you have to always, be able to have, plan it enough that maybe you have pockets for sure.
Yes, pockets.
So your phone can be there if your purse is somewhere far.
Pockets are so useful. So if your outfit has pockets, whoa, you're winning. Your day's gonna be good.
Yeah,
you put your phone in your pocket.
Make notes.
Pocket
outfits, pockets.
And then preparing mentally is a whole other thing where you need to set goals for yourself. You need to know, okay, what am I going to this event, and what is my goal? And of course, we go to an event to network, to meet people, talk about your business, get all that's the obvious. But maybe you should have smaller goals that you can set in your mind, and that helps you prepare. So when you go there, you're not just frantically okay, what am I doing again? Who am I going to go talk to? Maybe you've got an audience set in your brain. You're okay, I'm going to go to this event and talk to this particular. And sometimes it could just be one person. Mm-hmm. You'd be I know this person's going to be there because they posted on LinkedIn. I saw it, and I'm going to go because I know they're going to be there, and I want to talk to them. And that's your whole goal. Cool. You're set for the day.
I think those are the better conversations that you have is when it's with less number of people, but for a longer period of time. You can notice when people come to networking events and it's on their mission to talk to as many people as possible, and they kind of just move from circle to circle, and you can tell like that's the only goal, is to just talk to as many people and give away their information to as many people, which is like one way, 100%.
That's one way of doing it. Yeah.
No shade. But for me, like, because it's very difficult for me to have like surface level conversations, I do enjoy a longer period of conversation with somebody that, you know, I find interesting. There's a good topic that we can go back and forth. I'm curious about that. Like that kind of networking is usually preferred. So it's what you're saying, knowing a specific person that you like to get to know more can make that event a lot more valuable period than talking to, let's say, 25 people that they may or may not remember your name at the end of the conversation.
If you're like a product founder, you know, making sure that you have obviously you're taking your product with you to these events. You always have samples with you in your bag and you're sharing them. And when you're talking to the right person, if you're a service provider going, like, you should be comfortable enough, obviously, talking about your business and talking about your services. Like those are the goals, and like you're preparing ahead of time so that when you're in that situation, you're not like fumbling and, you know, you're prepared.
That is another important thing that I've learned recently. I'm a terrible networker, period. It's just something that comes with over time. You go, you learn, you figure it out. Having some sort of preparing topics that I want to discuss and icebreakers even. I'm not very good at small talk.
Right.
So having...
It's painful.
Yeah, so having like some sort of a list that is prepared that can save me at times where I'm unsure what to say in those kind of environments has been really helpful. But you also helped put together a cheat sheet for us that talks about networking cheat sheet, and it's been really helpful. We're sharing it, and if anyone's interested.
When you're preparing to attend, are there things that, you know, you might be anxious about and that do make these events challenging? What are some of the things that maybe cross your mind?
For me, what I've noticed, events that are not as bright is usually more helpful for me. Like we've been to events that have been like in these big spaces with lots of light and lots of people is happening. You can see everyone at all time. And those take a lot of, you get a little bit overstimulated. I feel like keeping track of everything and everyone all at once. I've been to a couple of events that are in like, let's say it's at nighttime or in like a more darker environment, and it's been a lot more easier because again, you're just focusing to the person in front of you. I don't really have to worry about lots of crowd, lots of people. So that has been when it comes to challenges, bright environment with lots of people has many distraction is a little bit overstimulating.
Yeah, I think the sensory heightened stimulation is a big one. So whether it's the lights being too bright, the noise for me is a really big one. So if it's too noisy, there's too many people, sometimes I find it really hard to focus. To focus on one conversation becomes hard. There's the lights, the noise, and then again, like having to like hold a lot of things and having a lot on you, I think just again makes it difficult to just be present in what you're doing. But because I was having some difficulties with the noise part and going to like events again where like there's lots of echoes and there's someone on a mic talking, so there's like, you know, certain sounds and there's a lot of people like moving in chairs and things. It's a lot, so it's really difficult to focus. So I recently discovered the loop earplugs. There's different kinds that you can get, but this one that I'm trying, so you wear it in your ears and it's like really discreet.
So it's not noticeable from.
Well, it can be. You can wear like bright color. They're like kind of funky. Like they're, I think, meant to be like whatever. Yeah, I'm wearing earplugs. If you want to see them, like wearing red ones, like there's like really funky. Or you can just get like the clear minimalistic one, and you can just like, you know, they're quite discreet. Yeah, you can wear a hat or your hair. I don't know. You can't really see them. You can't really see them. But what they do is they cancel out the large sounds, but you can still hear the person talking to you quite clearly without it being like that ear-plugged, stuffed noise. It sounds like you're just talking to somebody, you can hear them properly, but the sound around you gets muted, muffled, or it just gets brought down, reduced.
That's really cool. And you've been using it.
Yes, it's nice. It's nice. Yeah, it just brings the focus again. Just brings the attention to where you want it to be without getting distracted. I don't want to be listening to somebody else's conversation. I don't want to be focused on who's on stage right now. I want to control my attention
On you.
on you. I'm talking to you. I want to be here. Yeah. So yeah, it's exhausting, right? And so then we forget what we want to say. I forget what the things that I want to ask you. I forget what you were just asking me. Just the conversation becomes a lot more difficult. Yeah.
You're very good at talking to people and being curious and showing interest. You're very good. Like when you're talking to someone, you can carry a conversation really nicely. Well, for the most part.
Thanks for saying that. I don't really notice it.
Yeah. So do you have any? How do you do this? What is your big secret?
No, it is just interest. Like I am interested. Like when I am at an event, like I'm there to make conversation. Like that is the whole point while I'm there. So I am interested to know who else is there and what do we have in common. Can we help each other? Those are genuinely things that I want to know about. Yeah. When I am in conversation with someone, like I'll just bring those things up. I don't know, this is something that I've just been doing maybe, I don't know, unconsciously. But typically when I am in a conversation with someone new that I've never spoken to before, I do like to make them feel at ease. And sometimes I do that by saying something funny. It could be about myself, poking fun at something. Because that just brings their guard down immediately, right? Or it's just complimenting them about something, making them feel good about themselves. Like you immediately there's like guards down. Yeah. And so then it's so much easier to have a conversation, especially when you're at these kind of events and everybody's like got their guards up and everybody's like, okay, well, who do I talk to? And and like, they're scoping out and sometimes just like a simple conversation like, oh my god, I really like your sweater, or like, oh, and genuinely like I'll approach someone that I'm like, oh, like I like the fact that you're wearing a bright color means to me that you want to talk to somebody, so I'm going to go and talk to you. And then I'll be like, so obviously after that it's like, okay, so tell me, like, how's your day going, and like, how's it going, like, where are you here from, like, and it just starts. And I am chatty and I am just like got a lot of questions, and so it just, I don't know, follows.
And I think what helps usually is depending on the types of event. So when we do go to a networking event, which the intention in those is to actually build conversation, have conversation, help each other out. And I think one of the key things they say is like, try to give more value in any conversation to that person you're having than you're taking from that, like how you can help them build a relationship. But yeah, the intention for the event needs to match the tone of the conversation. So like sometimes we go to these events who are like, let's say a summit or these speaker events, like people that are attending there may not fully be ready to have a let's talk about business kind of conversation.
That's true.
The intention might be slightly different. So those are that to me, those are like a little bit more challenging for me to find an in. To try to get to talk to someone when they're like, oh, maybe they're like a note taker and they just wanted there to learn, or they're there for X, Y, Z.
No, but I'm gonna say something to that. Most of the time, if you're just having like the general icebreaker and maybe some small talk, they will ask you something about it. If you just have the, oh, are you enjoying the food, and how's your day going, and did you talk to anyone interesting today, just the general conversation, nothing about their work or your work. At some point, once they become a little bit more comfortable, they will ask you, oh, wow. Oh, so where are you here from?
Yeah, that's
true.
Or
what are you doing here today? Or what do you do?
That's true.
I feel like sometimes if I just let that conversation go for a little bit, and and if they don't want to talk, it's like, okay, I gotta go now, and that's fine. Now I know that we don't need to get into anything and force this awkward conversation. Let me tell you about my business when you don't really care right now. So it's having, I know like small talk can be really painful sometimes, but again, it's just finding something really small, like, oh, like, you comfortable, do you like this, whatever. and just see where it goes.
Yeah, I love when you said, like, you know, you approach every conversation with showing interest and actually being curious about the other person. I think those are pretty important. And who doesn't like to talk about themselves? You know,
yeah.
Like you compliment someone about their outfit or ask them a couple of questions that's like, it's a good question, not just like, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
You know, it will lead into a good conversation, and what comes from it is you have to see if your energy or your vibes matches, and then you take it from there.
Totally.
So yeah, I love that. Yeah, is there anything else when you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's also, you know, it's important to note that other people feel like you, I'm sure, who are just as maybe uncomfortable or maybe tired or hungry, or, you know, they're also just like, oh man, like I've got 3 more hours left, or, you know, people, like, we're all the same, we're in the same boat, right? Yeah. So it's good to keep that in mind when you're approaching someone, and again, not talking about yourself for 20 minutes and then just be like, so what do you do? It's just so, like, you know, robotic, right? Like, let's just be conscious of other people and where they're at maybe in their day. Like, if someone's holding a heavy bag and you're talking about yourself for 20 minutes, like, that's not cool. Like, they don't care. Yeah. Like, to maybe just mention it. Observant. Yeah, just be aware of your surroundings. What's happening? What are they doing? You know? Yeah. And maybe this is also like when to mention, you know, when you're going to these events, people that are in groups, and then people that are alone. I find people that are alone are there, you know, intentionally to make conversations. They are there and they're looking at you and they're doing the eye contact, and maybe they're a little shy at first. Maybe you notice somebody in the corner and maybe they just need a little encouragement to come and talk to you, and it's okay to go and reach out to them and be like, hey, I've got a drink, like, can I offer you a bottle of water? Or, you know, like, you're all there for the same reasons.
People and it just shows those people are like very brave. Like, good for you. Like, I love people that be like, I don't need a +1 to go and network. I can go do it myself. That's the best way.
Yes, 100%.
And those are the type of people you want to talk to.
I'm actually more intimidated going to a group.
Right.
Going up to a group and be like, hey guys, like, so what's up? You know? I'd rather go to someone and, you know, start a conversation with someone who, again, maybe is just like me and really there intentionally to have good conversations. Yeah, I feel like people that go in groups tend to stick together, and it's a little bit more difficult to approach them. Yeah. It's just like girls at the club, and the guys don't really approach a crew of girls, right? And you have to, like, walk away, and then someone will come and talk to you. It's the same thing. Same idea. Same. Yeah, which is a good segue into body language. You know, whether you're alone or in a group, how you put yourself out there is an invitation to encourage someone to come and say hello. Yeah, like, obviously if you're standing in a corner and, you know, on your phone, that's not really encouraging, and no one's gonna come and talk to you if you're on your phone. And that's fine. You might need a break. You could do that. If you ever need a break and you're like, oh my god, I talked to like 20 people today, just go on your phone. That's great. Everyone knows you need some time off. Body language is actually so important when you're at these events, and just to make sure that we know that we're welcoming, and, you know, crossed arms is not really welcoming, and you want to be making eye contact is a big one, and smiling is a big one. This is a big one that I have to typically remember, is when I'm walking, and I don't know why my face just always looks so...
You have the RFP?
Yeah, it's just always resting bitch face. Yeah, it's just good to be aware that, like, okay, I have to smile, I have to keep my eyes open and look up, and engage. Yeah, and you want to, because I want to engage with someone who smiles and makes eye contact with me. I don't want to go up to someone who's just, like, you know, obviously, like, not doing that.
Engage or like present. Yeah. You know, they're just like in their own world.
During a conversation, what do you find is challenging and helps you during a conversation?
So I have a spicy brain.
Okay.
So for me, it's difficult to listen, process, and also figure out what I'm going to say and respond.
Next, okay.
So that there is a delay in that cycle. But I find that taking things a little bit slower really helps,
Mm-hmm.
and like not moving from topic to topic. And when usually,
Right.
again, when you are with a couple of people,
Yes.
slower conversation happens than like, people sharing information too many times. This is TMI for everyone, but now you know.
Yeah, no, it's good. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that really helps me, and that's why I prefer 2 to 3, circle of 2 to 3 person max when I'm having a conversation with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps me like actively listen to what they're saying, process what they're saying, and also be able
Ask
to respond. Yeah,
yes, or a
questions.
follow-up or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, because that is how a conversation goes. Like you have to do all those things. You need to be actively listening, making eye contact, and making so to show that you're listening and processing, and then be able to ask follow-up questions and lead like or direct the conversation somewhere. Yeah, that's definitely challenging. Especially again, when we talked about when there's lots of sensory things going on. Again, that's why I want to control my focus on this person so that I can have a nice conversation. I don't want to be distracted, right? So that I can listen to what you're saying and understand. Most of the time, and again, this might be making me sound a bit silly here, but when I'm talking to someone and they're going on about like, maybe terminology, like a specific tech thing that they're talking about, and I don't know what you're saying, I have to really think about maybe some of the terms that you're using, and so I can follow up with like, can you explain that maybe a little bit more, or what does that mean exactly, or can you make that related to something that I would understand,
To use simple language.
Like
we forget.
Yeah.
Even for us.
And
then speaking in jargons, like nobody else would understand what
jargons. It's like, what are you saying, man? Yeah. I don't know. So I don't know what to ask you next because I didn't understand half the things you said. Can you just tone that down? But when you just say that, honestly, to someone, they're just like, oh yeah, sorry. Like they realize it. Like, I'm not in your industry. Mm-hmm. I'm not in your field. I don't know this terminology that you're using. So can you just explain that to me like I'm a 2-year-old, Or...
I love that this always brings us back to the language conversation.
Language. It's because it's so important.
Yeah. We're back at it.
We always do this language. Yeah, I mean, I get stuck on language a little bit too much recently, but it's still something that I think it's really important during networking and how we're talking. It's just good to be mindful. Like even for myself, like when I'm talking to somebody, I'm going on about like campaigns and like SEO, I'm talking about all these things, and then somebody's like, I don't know, like what you're saying. Sure, like my team does some of this, but I'm not really sure what that means. And let's just talk about like what's real.
Yeah, those are easier conversations to have. For everyone to be able to like connect with and engage with. So.
And then the next part, of course, is just being really curious again about what they're doing and just wanting to know more. I don't think there's like a right or wrong question. I don't think there's like, I have to ask the right question. I have to make sure this conversation goes in the right way. Like, it's not like that. It's just genuinely being curious to like, okay, what is it exactly that you do? And like, tell me a little bit more. And like, how does this relate? Or I know someone. Or like, there's so many ways that you can tie it in to make it relatable.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
Yeah. Interest, slowing down, curiosity, engagement. Like all of these, like it's simple if you really think about it. And but you have to do exactly.
You have to do it all. You gotta process real quick.
Exactly. But the more you do, I feel like it's like networking is also a skill, just like any other skill. The more you do it, the better you get at it. It's kind of like working out, building muscles. It's the same thing. The more you do something consistently, you build those kind of skills.
Yeah, you kind of come up with like, a handful of questions that work for you at these events. You kind of come up with, maybe you even work better on your own pitch and you start to do it better and you get really comfortable doing it and just becomes more natural. So yes, you're right. Absolutely. Practice does make it easier.
Yeah. Okay, so you've been to a couple of really big events that, there's a trade show, there's lots of vendors, lots of people, there's different workstations that you have to go, and you meet tons of people.
Yes.
How do you keep yourself organized so you can actually remember who everyone you've talked to?
Yeah, that's a big one. Because you want to make the most of it, right? Especially because, you know, these events are expensive to go to, and you're going and you're talking to a lot of people, and you want to make sure that, like, you know, it's going to be valuable. You're going to get something out of it. Hopefully some leads out of it. So there's a few things you can do. I know some people during events take notes. So, you know, you can be talking to vendors, and if it's a good conversation, if it really good, of course, you're sharing information. So you're sharing your business card, or you're sharing your LinkedIn, you know, you're sharing something, but you're afterwards, you're going and taking notes. So you can have like your little notepad with you, and then when you're done this conversation that you had, you want to just go and write either something on the business card to be like, this was so and so, we talked about his dog, and then you're like, I'm gonna refer back to this and make sure you ask about this. You just write some notes.
Yeah.
So that later at your computer you refer back to this in an email. Hey, it was really nice talking to you. How's your dog? I got the stain out of my shirt, and da 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 da. I also wanted to ask you about your budget. Let's set up a meeting. Like, and it's also going to help that person, because that person also talked to a lot of people that day, but they're going to remember you. Oh yeah, we talked about my dog, and oh yes, I remember that chick's shirt, and da 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 da. You know, like, they'll remember.
Yeah.
So making notes does help. It's good to be able to just do that though. Like, sometimes we go from like one booth to the next, and then you're just like, oh my god, I just talked to like 6 people and I don't remember who's who anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great to remember to take notes, but if you are going, I wonder if you can test this out next time. I wonder if you should voice note your conversations, and then now voice note transcribes everything anyway.
Oh, so you're saying like while you're talking at their station, have your phone.
Your phone is in your hand anyway. I would just record like the entire conversation.
Do you need to ask permission for that?
No, you're not sharing it with anybody. It's just for you.
Oh, for your own. Okay.
Yes, because I wonder, because lately, like during meetings now, meeting notes, we have notes that are taking, we have note takers, and I don't know, sometimes I record big panel conversations because I want to remember what the conversation was.
Yeah.
And then that way, even if I speak to the panelist afterwards, and then I get their contact info, and then I'm doing a follow-up the following day, I always refer back to their panel note, like recording, just to refresh my recollection on what the conversation that they discussed. So I wonder if, and it would be the same idea during, like, let's say if it's a vendor floor that you're going booth to booth and you're talking to a ton of people, that you may not get a chance to like document it right on the spot.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure there are tools that you can use to record and even take like really like specific notes, you know, so you're writing down really specific things. But yeah, a voice note would be a great, and you can do it on your phone, right? All of this, you know, even if it's just writing a couple notes on your phone.
That's right.
Or recording, like even just recording yourself. Like, I just talked to this person, remember and you know,
that would take 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
There's so many tools now. We have all of this on our phones that you know, we can use. But again, it's just remembering all those things and being prepared for it when you go to the event. You're not just randomly halfway through like, oh yeah, I forgot. You know, that's when it's just like,
write lists.
list on list on list. After the event, of course, those notes and all your recordings and all everything that you collected, I like to just keep everything in one folder called by that event. Like, I just organize it by event. And then I go through all the cards that I collected and all the connections that I made. And then I will either email them, connect with them on LinkedIn, of course. And again, just make really, really specific reference. I really enjoyed our conversation about blah, 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 blah. Let's, you know, staying connected. Or if it was a meeting that you just booked, like, I can't wait to see you, like, let's book something or whatever, you know, making reference to it. So email, but making a point of contact after the event if you really intend on keeping that connection. If not, things can get forgotten. Yeah. We go to events all the time, people talk to, and you just will lose track. So making some sort of connection on their social media, on, you know, an email, adding them to your newsletter, whatever it is that you had talked about, really, really following up with that sets you apart.
Yeah, LinkedIn is key. I feel like LinkedIn is a really good tool to not only like connect with that individual face to face, or, you know, connect with them outside of the event, but also follow up with, it is not as formal as like an email, so it's like an easier way to message someone and follow up and keep in touch, versus if you send someone an email, you may need to add like a couple of links and give some extra value and whatnot. Just to saying hi, it might be easier.
No, but I do want to say, like, at the end of it, I think it's also just nice for yourself at these events to try to have fun. If you can make it fun, I think not only obviously you'll have a more enjoyable time, but other people feel that too. They feel your energy and they want to come and talk to you, and they want to, what are you having fun about? Like, I want to talk to you and have fun too. Like, people feel that, you know, if you're like miserable and not, you know, just not having a great time and just really uncomfortable, and people feel that and they don't want to really associate with that. So it's all about mindset, and if you can have fun, do the things to help you.
Make you comfortable.
To help you have fun. Do the things to help you have fun.
100%. And I think most of the time, from at the beginning you said, from what you wear, how you dress, the environment you're in, everything has to put you in a space that you feel comfortable enough to be present. And then yes, you can have fun. If my mind is like, oh my god, my feet are killing me, oh my god, I'm so hot, or I'm so cold, or you know, this event, I didn't know this many people are gonna be here, I didn't know this, and you know, there's all these like uncertainties that keep happening throughout the, you're not gonna have a good time. And it will, you know, yes, you'll be a stress ball, and you're probably gonna just go in a corner and be on your phone the entire time. So do a little bit of preparing
can go a long way.
To be comfortable, so you can have fun. And hopefully make great connections, like actual genuine connections. That's the goal.
So what's our next event we're going to?
Oh yeah, we have something coming up next week.
We have a lot still.
Or 2 weeks, we have a couple of this.
There's still lots to go.
I'm really enjoying them so far. You go there and it's so inspiring. You meet all these great business owners. They're all so ambitious. There's also have, you know, thriving businesses, and I'm like, yes, we're not alone. We're not just like, you
totally. Oh my god, it's so nice.
People in person is so wonderful.
And to hear what other people are challenged with, you know, especially for us who are, you know, work on a smaller team, you know, it's so nice to get out and talk to other people and hear that they have similar challenges and going through the same things, and it's so nice for sure. To more events.
All right, well, thank you. This is another good talk. Episode. See you next month.